Oh my God, this day has just been too much, everybody. Welcome to ESPN Live, our live match day, last match day of the league phase of the Champions League. I'm Miguel Echegaray, LME in the house. There's a lot going on. UEFA's loving this right now because the last match day of the league phase of the Champions League is crazy. And yes, I'm going to run through everything. We're going to talk about everything. You can ask me about anything, including the transfer window. We'll talk about Manchester City, Liverpool, the leaders of the top 8, going through all the goals, of course, as we enter the last facet of these matches. But as you can see, and as you all know, I'm a lifelong Villa fan, right? So there's going to be a lot of passion here, a lot of, nerve-wracking moments here. So please forgive me, okay? Because there's not many media representatives that love the Villa as much as I do. So let's just all relax here. But as always, I welcome your questions and your comments. But let's run through what's going on right now. Let's begin with the mighty Villa right now. Okay, so basically what Aston Villa is going through right now is they are trying to make it in the top 8 of the Champions League for the very first time in Premier League history, right? Because it's been a very long time since Villa have been in the Champions League. In the Premier League, this has never happened. Villa need a win today and the hope of other results going their way in order for them to guarantee a top 8 spot. Right now, they're 7th, but okay, Villa are 3-2 up. They got a penalty against Celtic, but Ollie Watkins fell, hit a ditch or something, slipped, and missed the penalty. So it's still 3-2, 68th minute on the clock. Villa's relying on a few teams above them to do a few favors for them. Barcelona were leading 1-0 against Atalanta, thanks to Lamine Yamal. But Atalanta have just scored, so it's 1-0. But that still means that Villa are still in the top 8, okay? Because Atalanta need to win that game. Liverpool currently are top because of that draw, despite being 3-2 down to PSV. Obviously, Arne Slot is making sure that there's rotation in that game, making sure that Liverpool stay fresh for what's to come in the Premier League. But as of right now, Liverpool, once again, because they weren't top before, because they're losing to PSV, their perfect record in the Champions League being down, they're 3-2 to PSV, but they're on top. Okay, Lille, the French team Lille, are sneaking in right now in the final spot as things stand. They are in the final spot. And Manchester City, by the way, for all you Man City fans, you were losing 1-0 to Club Brugge. But thanks to Kovacic and Gavardio, who in my opinion has been the player for Man City in the last few weeks, it's 2-1 right now, deflected shot. So they are right now in the knockout stages. And Villa are just getting a corner. Watkins with a shot. Oh, and Kasper Schmeichel with a foot save. I'm telling you, there's too much going on right now. And Arsenal reportedly with an offer for Ollie Watkins. Villa turned it down. Jon Hader Duran is on his way to Al Nassr, apparently. There's so much going on. But that's what's happening. Liverpool, your perfect record right now is not perfect. You're losing to PSV 3-2. Barcelona 1, Atalanta 1, Manchester City 2, Brugge 2. So send in your questions, everybody. We got a corner here. Yuri Tillemans takes it in. Nothing. It's still 3-2, 70th minute. I'm worried about Barcelona, by the way, but we got a few questions here. Okay. What did you make of all those games at once? The first question. I got to be honest, and I said it last week. This is a win for UEFA. It's a win. This new format is an absolute win because what you are seeing is end-to-end drama. It's everywhere. End-to-end drama is happening all over the place. And that's exactly what UEFA wanted with it, this format. You've had up to like the second half, Man City possibly out of the knockout stages. You've had all this back and forth in changings in the standings. My Aston Villa right now can make, great history. Barcelona has scored again, by the way. That's Ronald Araujo. Vamos, Barça! They're 2-1 against Atalanta, meaning that Villa is still looking good. But I've loved it. I've loved all the games at once. It's all the drama that we want. It's exactly what we need in the Champions League. How boring has it been for so many years? Group stages, we know what's going to happen over and over and over again. This gives so much drama. So kudos. I've been loving it all at once. All right. So Villa's back. It's ridiculous. Barcelona now are top of the league phase table because of that win. It was a corner. Ronald Araujo, who, by the way, reportedly was on his way out of Barcelona, but no, he comes in with a clinical header for Barca, and that makes them top of the table. Liverpool back down. Barcelona tremendous stuff against Atalanta. Celtic just had a really good attempt from outside the box, just outside. Not to worry, Emi Martinez. But there you have it. It's been a ridiculous time. This is what the Champions League is all about. And this is what this new format is going to be moving forward. Manchester City coming in, and they've just scored their third goal. Savinho, the Brazilian, in the 76th minute. A really great finish. He's been another great player for Manchester City. So from 1-0 down, it looks for Pep Guardiola and co that it should be fine. All right, let's go around some other teams, by the way, because obviously we've got a lot of USMNT fans following. If you saw, Yunus Musa got sent off early in that game. He got sent off against Dinamo Zagreb, and Dinamo Zagreb went ahead. But Milan, who are losing right now, they are losing 2-1. But Christian Pulisic is the first American man to score 4 goals in a single Champions League season because he came on late and he scored. He came back from recovery. They've got a new manager there, Sergio Conceição. They wanted to make sure that they because they're not doing too great in Serie A. They're trying to climb up that table, but in the Champions League it was looking okay. But Yunus Musa gets sent off. Dinamo Zagreb scores 2, but Pulisic scores, gets 1 back. The first American man to score 4 goals in a single Champions League season. So his tenure at Milano remains wonderful, no matter the manager, because he's been dealing with so many managers. Pulisic has had like 10 managers in the space of a decade, and he continues to deliver. So I think Serie A is a great place for him. But Milan are losing, though, to Dinamo Zagreb. But as you look at the table, Barcelona on top, Liverpool second, Inter leading 3-0. Inter leading 3-0 against Monaco. Atleti fourth. They're in fourth. They're leading 4-0. Arsenal were 1-0 down to Girona, but they came back from behind. That's 2-1 now. They're fifth. Leverkusen 2-0. Aston Villa 3-2. But here comes Celtic with a breakaway. No. A corner. Lille in eighth. I told you that I was going to do a lot of Villa, by the way. But Arsenal right now are leading against Girona. It keeps moving. They're back to third, actually, because of their 2-1 lead and the point. So the table keeps fluctuating, everybody. It's been that kind of game. But I was talking about Arsenal leading 2-1. Girona just equalized. 2-0. They are currently 2-0, unless there are changes there. It's 2-0. Was there a VAR, Rob Moore? My producer, Rob Moore, staying on top of it. Yeah, there might be a VAR here. I think it's offside. Yeah, I think Girona, I believe they scored and equalized. A really wonderful cross right there from the Spanish side. But I believe VAR has intervened for that one. Goal line technology, and it stays 2-1. So Arsenal fans can relax. You are third, leading in the league phase in third place, 2-1 leading against Girona. I want all your questions coming in. I'm going to be doing a little watching here. 75th minute, Villa trying to get out of their box as they maintain the 3-2 lead. And Barcelona, did I mention Barcelona that I love you so much, by the way? You're like my favorite team in La Liga. I wish nothing but the best for you. I appreciate you from now and forever. Lamine Yamal, if I can adopt you, please allow me to do so. But keep it coming. Thanks to you and Villa's current lead against Celtic, Villa are eighth. In the top 8, meaning that they will guarantee a bye into the round 16. Morgan Rogers comes in, feeds it to Ollie Watkins. Oh, outside. My goodness. Absolutely ridiculous. All right, other games. Lille continues to deliver. It's 4-1 against Feyenoord, by the way. A tremendous result here for the French side. They play some really good stuff, Lille, and they're doing really well. Now it's 4-1 against Feyenoord, and it's 5-1. 5-1 against Feyenoord, I believe. Yeah, that was the 5th goal. They are absolutely killing Feyenoord, and they have the last spot in the top 8. As you look further down, the knockout phase playoff places for the round of 16, Dortmund leading 3-1. Dortmund leading 3-1. They are in 9th. Bayern Munich 2-0. Real Madrid 11th spot, leading 2-0. Milan, I said they're losing, but they're still in a knockout phase playoff spot. And Atalanta, even though they're losing, they're 13th. And then you have, obviously, the others. PSG winning 4-1. PSV winning 3-2 against Liverpool, Benfica winning 1-0, Monaco, Brest, Feyenoord, Juventus, Celtic, Manchester City, Sporting and Club Brugge, Dinamo, Stuttgart, and Shakhtar. It's a lot of teams, man, in that bye. That's where it gets tricky. So that bye, that playoff phase to get into the round of 16 is going to be interesting. But as of right now, Manchester City are looking good. They needed to win. That was really the only thing for them and for Dinamo to win by 11 goals against Milan. That's not happening. So Man City needed to win. And there you have it. I'm still going to watch a little bit here. It's a live watch along, ESPN SC Live. Please send me your questions. All right. I was so happy about Barcelona. I said some compliments. I might just shut my mouth now because Atalanta have equalized. It's 2-2 now. 2-2 Barcelona and Atalanta. All right, things are getting a little bit nerve-wracking for me now as we approach the 80th minute. Atalanta 2, Barcelona 2. And that means, once again, that Liverpool returned to the top of the league phase table, even though they're losing 3-2. Barcelona in second. Atalanta are 9th. They need to win. They need to win in order to get that top 8. As of right now, they are 9th, with Villa still leading 3-2. Oh my goodness, this is just crazy. So yeah, let me just run that again as things stand in the top 8. There are 2 teams from La Liga, Barcelona and Atletico de Madrid. 3 teams from the Premier League, that's Liverpool, Arsenal and Villa. 1 from Serie A, 1 from the Bundesliga, 1 from Liga. So that's pretty good. I mean, it sounds about right? But still a little bit time left. By the way, Atalanta is a remarkable club. The things that Gasperini has done for a team that has a very small budget, the size of a championship team, and remain so competitive. The fact that they're going to still push for a top 8 is remarkable. It's a really wonderful club, really well managed. Gasperini, in my opinion, the most underrated manager in the game. I know that he's respected, but when we talk about the greats, top 5 managers in the game right now, whatever, Gasperini is so underrated. Villa still trying to push for a 4th goal here. As Celtic under Brendan Rodgers tried to do some tiki-taka, and they get out of it. All right, so yeah, it's been that kind of day, everybody. Here comes Celtic trying to push for an equalizer. A cross comes in, but it's denied by Yuri Tillemans. Leon Bailey with a breakaway. Sometimes it's nice. I wonder what it's like to not be a fan and just watch things normally. It's a great ball for Morgan Rogers. Oh, who's looking for his hat-trick, by the way. He's got a brace already. It's a brace from Rogers and a goal from Ollie Watkins. Lille still just... By the way, I mentioned that it was 5-1 to Lille against Feyenoord. It's not. It's 4-1. I guess VAR came in and rejected that one. We got another question. Thank you so much. Apart from Liverpool, says this fan, which team has impressed you the most this season in the Champions League? All right. Well, okay. I will remove Villa for a second because it is a remarkable thing for it to do that, you know. But honestly, to me, there are a few. Number one, I mentioned Atalanta, and I'll say it again. They're trying to win Serie A right now. They're competing for the Serie A title, and they're pushing right now for a bye in the top 8. They don't have a big budget. They always have to sell in order to replenish. They're kind of a Brighton like that, always looking to rotate their competition. To me, Atalanta has been magnificent. And then when you look at other teams, I mean, Brest has made it into the knockout phase playoff spot as of right now, even though they're losing 3-0. That's impressive to me. Liverpool have been perfect aside from today. But and then finally, I have to give credit, and it's 6-1 to Lille, by the way. Tremendous performance. But you mentioned, aside from Liverpool, who has impressed me the most, I will finish with Atletico de Madrid. I think that what Diego Simeone does season in and season out to make Atleti be this competitive in La Liga and the Champions League, when for the majority of his tenure there, they don't spend that much. This past summer, they did. They spent a lot of players. They spent a lot of money on players to come in to strengthen. Julian Alvarez and the like. But overall, over his tenure, he doesn't. Definitely not compared to Barcelona or Real Madrid. And the fact that they remain competitive is remarkable. And now Atleti are fifth, winning 4-0. They're fifth right now in the league phase. So they've been very impressive once again. But I like this format. I like the way that it offers this competition to those smaller teams. And I know that I think Josko Guvarriel from Manchester City was talking in his pre-game conference saying that he doesn't like it. He prefers the group stages. Of course, you're going to prefer that. When you're at Manchester City and you're guaranteed, half of your group stage matches at home against, smaller opposition, of course, you're going to prefer it. This completely balances everything for the other teams. I think it's been an absolute win for UEFA. Honestly, it has. We'll see what happens in the knockout stages, but we'll see. Send more questions, by the way, everybody. They're great. I love them. All right, so we are reaching towards the end of the game. Manchester City look like they're good. 3-1 still against Brugge at the Etihad. They don't really lose there in the Champions League after 90 minutes. They just don't. Inter are fine. PSG are absolutely fine. Barcelona and Atalanta remain 2-0. I'm looking at that one as well. Leverkusen winning 2-0 against Sparta Prague. Juventus losing to Benfica. Any Juventus fans out there? How are you feeling? Your season is interesting. 2-0, two really good goals from Benfica, by the way. And you're at home. You're at the Alliance. It's interesting. And then Bayern Munich as well. They are winning. So yeah, minutes are running out here. My camera moved for a second. Let me just come back here. There you go. No, now it's moved too much. Yeah, that's the problem, as the commentator is saying. But yeah, it's a pretty nice turnaround from Real Madrid, by the way, in the Champions League. But this is what I say about Real Madrid. As we remember, Kylian Mbappé arrives at the beginning of the season. Everybody's wondering how's he going to do. Everybody's worrying because he's not scoring that many goals at the beginning. There's some struggles, whatever. But this is Real Madrid. They find a way to just get it done. They're not a normal team. And they do this. They're the most successful club in Champions League history. They're not. Carlo Ancelotti is the most successful manager in Champions League history. They have too much talent, too much experience, too much Real Madrid-ness to allow anything to falter. Now, granted, they're not getting a top 8, but it doesn't matter for them. It's just about staying in it, and that's what they do. And it's a great turnaround. But they're 12th, and they'll be in the knockout stages. And once they're in the knockout stages, it's a home and an away game. Would you bet against them now once they make it? I don't know. Is there any other manager, talking about Carlo Ancelotti, is there any other manager like Carlo Ancelotti out there? He's a turn man manager. He's probably one of the best man managers out there. Probably the best, because he allows his players to shine. But, and people will say, yeah, but it's Real Madrid or whatever. But look at his resume. Remember, people, he took the job at Everton and he made them decent until he left. He's so good at making his personnel feel confident and calm. I don't think there's a manager out there like Carlo Ancelotti. I think there's good managers out there that have that kind of charisma. I think Ruben Amorim will get it sorted at Manchester United because of those traits. I think Jose Mourinho in his best days was like that. So there are managers like that can possibly do that. I think Eddie Howe actually has that. Players love playing for him as well, but there's nobody like Carlo Ancelotti. 88th minute, things are wrapping up now. Honestly, I'm not just saying this because I'm a Villa fan, but this is really the one that we're looking at now. Manchester City full-time, they've done it. They've made it into the knockout stages. And Man City's another team. Like, now that they're on knockout stages, I think that they can now, refocus and refigure everything out. I want to ask my producer, Rob Moore, to check this for me. But I believe, because, Manchester City did their win today against Brugge, 3-1. They're in the knockout stages. Congratulations. They weren't allowed to use their 3 new signings because, the eligibility for this league phase group was in September. Can these 3 players now play in the knockout stages? Because if that's the case, somebody like Omar Marmoush is going to be very important coming into it. So that's a big one. But Man City done full-time 3-1 against Club Brugge. They are in the knockout stages. As of right now, Villa are in. But I'm just watching here. So here's just to confirm the UEFA rules state that players acquired in the January transfer window cannot register for the European competition until the league phase ends. So they can play in the knockout stages. This is so nerve-wracking, man. Barcelona still too. Oh my God. We have a big injury at the Barcelona-Atalanta game. They need a stretcher. It's an Atalanta player, so I'm imagining that game's going to go on for a little bit because they need the stretcher to come out and take him out of the pitch. I will give you the updates, or my producer Rob can hopefully help me here, but there's a stretcher out for an Atalanta player. So meaning that, this game will probably last a little bit longer than most because that's in the 89th minute. PSV still winning 3-2 against Liverpool. And there's a red card here against a Liverpool defender as well. So not going to end well for Liverpool, but they don't really care. I know Slot wants to win every game, but he rotated heavily for this one. It doesn't matter. Still 3-2. Villa, Emiliano Martinez has the ball. 3-2. By the way, I'll talk about it after the game's finish, but there's a lot of transfer news as well. Celtic keep pushing. Bouba Kamara, who is just the greatest defensive midfielder since Claude Makelele, to be honest. He does another clearance. Here comes Leon Bailey in the 89th minute, entering the box with the ball. Oh, feeds it to Ollie Watkins, but it passes him by. This is too much, man. It's too much. So Bayern Munich, by the way, speaking of Bayern Munich, who obviously did their thing as well. The man of the hour, as always, Harry Kane. He has 14 career Champions League goals with Bayern Munich. For context, by the way, Bayern's top scorer in the competition's history is Lewandowski, scoring 15 in his first 2 seasons with the club. Harry Kane has 14. An unbelievable record for the English striker. And that's done, by the way. They win 3-1 against Bratislava. So Bayern, who haven't been, Villa beat them 1-0. I was there. It was ridiculous at Villa Park. But they win. So they're in the knockout stages. They're not in the top 8 as of right now. Atleti also wins against Salzburg. Salzburg got one back. But Atleti win 4-1. And Girona were losing 2-1 to Arsenal. And Raheem Sterling has a penalty in stoppage time. He's about to take it. And it is saved. Good save. Come on. Let's go! Morgan Rogers hat trick. Villa 4, Celtic 2. Now, please, Barcelona, Lamine Yamal, do your thing. But producer Rob Moore is like ahead of me, and he could have told me on the chat, but he didn't want to ruin it for me. Thank you, brother. Come on! Morgan Rogers hat trick, baby. Do you know how much criticism there was when Villa got him from Middlesbrough because they didn't know anything about him? Morgan Rogers is unbelievable. He has a hat trick, 4-2. Unbelievable. Let's see the goal, by the way. Celtic do a throw-in, trying to put it back towards their own box. Ollie Watkins steals it, lets Morgan Rogers have it. Rogers scores, and that's their game done, I believe. It's not over, but, I mean, this is Villa needed to win today, and they did it. And I just want to remind everybody something of this. This is the first time in Premier League era that Villa are in the Champions League. The last time was over 40 years ago. The fact that Unai Emery has been able to lead this team, and by the way, and I said it on Threads earlier, if the fact that it wasn't long ago that Villa were in the Championship, It wasn't long ago that Villa were like 19th in the championship. And then Steven Gerrard came in. We got promoted, whatever, after Dean Smith. Steven Gerrard, we were fighting to stay in the Premier League. Then Unai Emery came in November 2022. And now, a few years later, less than 3 years, we're in the Champions League. It's a remarkable achievement, honestly. So now we're just waiting. We're in stoppage time here. Oh, my God. Oh, thank God. Barcelona had the ball in their own half. There was a slip. Atalanta nearly stole it, but it's all good. But there's only 2 minutes left in the Barcelona game right now. I'm going to warn you that if Villa get into the top 8, I'm going to sing, okay? Just warning you. The Barcelona right now have the ball. There's like 1 minute left in this game. If Atalanta score, I'm going to be so angry. And I thought that the game was going to take longer because I needed a stretcher. But so this is what we're waiting for. Look, Unai Emery's talking to his assistants, checking on the results. Villa Park is absolutely erupting if it happens. Jon Hader Duran, very quiet on the bench, and I'll tell you why very soon. But Barcelona coming in, they have time for one more attack. Now it's Barcelona in complete control right now. Villa's singing. It's still 30 seconds left in the Barcelona-Atalanta game. It's all over at Villa Park. Aston Villa, the champions of Europe of 1982, have won 4-2 against Celtic. They've done what they needed to do today. Morgan Rogers hat-trick, Ollie Watkins goal, Unai Emery applauding to the stadium. And now we're just waiting for Barcelona. Leverkusen, by the way, winners 2-0 against Sparta Praha. What a remarkable job from Xabi Alonso. They're in the top 8. Just remarkable. Remarkable. Juventus, you lose 2-0 to Benfica, Bianconeri. That's a tough one to swallow. It's been tough for Juventus, having to deal. It's been a tough one as they continue to fight. PSG their turnaround continues after coming back from behind and beating Manchester City last week. They win 4-1. And Ousmane Dembélé, who I'm telling you, he is the most insanely talented player. He is so many little tiny factors away from being the best player in the world. He's so talented. He just doesn't have certain factors in his game that stop him from doing so. But he's the man once again, and it's 4-1 there. Barcelona have a corner here. Oh, my God. This is just it's too much, man. Takes a corner. Keeper stops it. Blow the whistle, ref. It's over. What do you need another corner for? My God. No. Still going here. I told you this would be the game that lasts at the end. Lille 6, Feyenoord 1. Just blow the whistle, ref. Blow the whistle. He's giving a free kick to Barcelona. Just blow the whistle. Some other results. Inter 3, of course, nothing against Monaco. Milan, that's still going. They're losing 2-1 with a man less. Lamine Yamal coming off. 17 years old, this man. Kid. It's ridiculous. Can we blow the whistle, please? There's 4 games still being played, by the way. Inter, Milan, Barcelona. What's the other one, Rob Moore? Oh, Liverpool. Liverpool losing to PSV right now. Still. But they remain top of the league phase. So, they won that top seeding, of course. Oh, my God. Come on. Let's go already. There's a free kick here from Barca in the 7th minute of stoppage time. No. Goes above. That's Rafinha. And Liverpool fans are obviously hoping that this stays a draw as well, so Liverpool can stay top of the table. It's all over. It's all over. Every week we follow the boys in claret and blue. We conquered all of Europe in 1982. The Villa boys from Aston, we travel near and far. You can hear us singing from the stands of Villa Park. Okay, I'm done. Yes! Yes! Villa get top 8. A buy into the round of 16. And here's your table. Liverpool top it despite losing against PSV. Barcelona in second place. Arsenal in third. Inter in fourth. Atleti in fifth. Leverkusen in sixth, Lille in seventh, and Aston Villa in eighth. That's your top 8. Unbelievable. PSG and Man City clinch the knockout stage berths. Only 4 clubs have ever had longer knockout stage appearances streaks in the UEFA Champions League than PSG's 13-season streak and Manchester City's 12-season streak. It was tough. It was like they were walking on thin ice. Man City has gone through a lot, but they did it. They won against Club Brugge. And their unbeaten record at the Etihad after 19 minutes in the Champions League remains. And PSG and Luis Enrique, they're doing their thing. So there you have it. I want some questions here before we wrap up. Ask me anything. It's going to be very interesting. I mean, some games are still going. Milan is still pushing for this equalizer, but they are tired, man. Mike Mignon pushing. I mean, Christian Pulisic, an unbelievable tenure here. Got a question here. Is Diego Simeone one of the most underrated managers of his generation? Yes, yeah, 100%. Yes. I said it earlier. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think Diego Simeone, what he does, he gets gold out of stones at Atleti. You have to remember something. Trying to compete with Real Madrid and Barcelona financially is not easy, despite all the issues with Barcelona. And he's done it for so many years. It's ridiculous. I think there's a stat where only once he's ever finished them outside of the top 3. He won La Liga a few seasons ago, back when Lucho Suarez was there. He's so underrated. So here's your top 8. There you have it on the screen. Liverpool, Barcelona, Arsenal, Inter, Atleti de Madrid, Leverkusen, Lille, and Aston Villa. As we mentioned before, we have 3 teams from the Premier League, 2 teams from La Liga, 1 from Serie A, 1 from the Bundesliga, 1 from Ligue A. Is it what you expected? I mean, I'm beyond the moon, to be honest, to make it a top 8. This is the other thing. To be in the top 8 allows these teams to have a little breathing room. They don't have to worry about European competition until March now. So they have all of February to relax, to breathe, to focus domestically. And that's massive. That's a massive thing. So even though you've made it into the knockout stages, you still have to worry about a 2-legged affair. And that's going to be big in a season that's demanding so much of you, especially if you are in domestic competitions. Here's another question. Anyone in the top 8 you think are lucky to be there? Any teams you think you missed out? Well, let's see. Liverpool, no. They were perfect. They are the best team in Europe, in my opinion, next to Barcelona. The same with Barcelona. Arsenal, I think very well played to Mikel Arteta, but he's an experienced manager. They're a good team, obviously fighting for the Premier League as well. They deserve to be there. Inter, I mean, I think Simone Inzaghi is, talk about underrated managers. I know he's well-renowned, but we don't talk about him enough. Atleti, we've talked about Atleti, Leverkusen. Lille, I think, is a surprising one just because where's Real Madrid? Where's Manchester City? Where's Bayern Munich? They're not here. And the same with Villa. Like, the fact that they were able to do this is really remarkable. And that's the good thing about this league phase. The fact that you play different opponents home and away every single time. It allows for much competition. So I don't think anybody's lucky to be there. I think they deserve to be there. I think they have taken the advantage of a new format that allows them to play like this. And that's a big thing. So, fair play to all of them. You just needed to make it into the knockout stages. But now there's the seeding involved as well, right? Because even though Manchester City have made it, they're pretty low in the seeding. Real Madrid, I'm not really that worried about because they're Real Madrid. But some teams are now going to be hoping that they are home in the second leg or whatever it is, whatever the case. But I end where I begin. Like, this has been a win for UEFA. This format has been fantastic. Here's another question, and this is the final question, by the way. Your top 3 teams that you think will win this year. Well, it's a different question, right? Because there's 3 teams who I think are the top, and then there's 3 teams that I think might win it. And that might not be the same, because I think the top 3 teams in this competition right now are Liverpool, Barcelona, and Arsenal. I stand with the league phase standings. I think those are the three best teams. Do I think one of them will win it? Well, listen, I did a predictions piece earlier this year, and I wanted to be bold with it. And I think that this is a really good opportunity for Arsenal to finally win this. And I think I'm going to stick with that. So that will be one of my choices. I think if they can get a striker in the transfer window, Ollie Watkins reportedly a 60 million bid. It was denied. But I think Arsenal have a good chance. I think this is the moment for Barcelona and Lamine Yamal to do some history. They haven't won the Champions League in a long time. They've needed to recoup something aside from domestic titles since Lionel Messi's exit. I think they're in it. I think Liverpool have a good chance, but I just think that there's so much focus on the domestic side of things, it might not happen. So if you're asking me about anybody else, I hate, there's PSG that are looking really good now in form in Europe. Luis Enrique now has a really good team. Bayern Munich, of course. I kind of like what Benfica can show here. They're not afraid of anybody. Manchester City, if they can incorporate these new signings, they're also going to be a thing. And once again, you can't ever discount Real Madrid. You can't kill them, ever. So the last thing I will say in terms of the transfer windows is, from a Villa perspective, Arsenal reportedly made a bid for Ollie Watkins earlier this week, 60 million. It was very quickly rejected. Jonhader Duran, the Colombian striker, reportedly it's set between them and Al Nassr, Cristiano Ronaldo's team. They, Villa have a very high valuation from Jonhader Duran ever since his uprising. We're talking 80 million euros. Al Nassr reportedly is making bids, according to The Athletic, 75 million euros plus add-on. And apparently it's been accepted, and now the personal terms have been accepted. So now apparently there's a medical booked in London, and he might be on his way. So that's crazy. That's for another day. But that's it. For now, Aston Villa are top 8. Liverpool lead the standings. So that's a Premier League team and won a Premier League in 8. Manchester City make it in. Real Madrid are fine. Barcelona continue to do their thing as well. This has been a wonderful thing. We're going to keep this going, by the way, as the Champions League continues. I don't know when, I don't know how, but stay tuned. And stay tuned, by the way, on ESPN FC Live. Thanks to my producer, Rob Moore, who's very sick today, by the way. But he it doesn't matter. He's a trooper. He's a soldier. He makes it happen. And so are you. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time on ESPN FC Live. I'll be on Friday and the weekend as well for everything. But thanks again. Stay with us on ESPN FC every single day. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Up the Villa. Till then, bye-bye.